Howdy everyone, welcome to another installment of Dan's Vinyl Corner. I am Dan and this is my Vinyl Corner, and today I'm going to be discussing my top 10 vinyl finds of 2021. The idea of this video is to focus on used records as opposed to newer audiophile records that for some reason really stood out in my listening library. Be that because of the rarity of the record, because of the astounding sound quality of the record, because it was a personal favorite album of mine that I was glad to have in a physical medium, or something else. I've tried to rank them, although I may be remiss in doing so at all, but without further ado, let's get to it. At number 10, we have a original US press of David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars on that RCA label. And this is an album that I had only originally heard this year at the recommendation of Keith, who I had a vinyl conversation with in one of my other videos. I think it's an absolute beautiful record, great example of album rock from that period, and David Bowie bringing a great sound to the songs. 5 Years is probably one of the best introductory tracks I've heard on any album. You have songs like, the band is all together, it was all right, and really the whole arc of the album I really enjoyed, and to hear it on this early copy is great. I also find myself singing along a lot to various cuts from this album, just kind of out of the blue. At number 9, we have Black Sabbath's Paranoid. This is a Warner Lost Leaders version of the album from 1975, and it is on that Burbank label with the Lost Leader sleeve. You could really hear the drums and the guitar on this pressing. The instruments were very much up front in the mix, and I found the vinyl to be very quiet. I really loved the very pronounced bass on tracks like Electric Funeral, Paranoid, War Pigs, or my personal favorite, Jack the Stripper / Fairies Wear Boots. So absolutely great classic heavy rock album that should be in any collection. Coming in at number 8, we have Trout Mask Replica from Captain Beefheart. This is a 2000 180 gram double LP, mastered at better quality sound on the straight label. Absolutely great art rock album that mixes a little bit of everything from classic rock, the electric blues, experimental and progressive music, field recording into one great album, and was recorded on the Frank Zappa's label straight, where the musicians were not were to be completely straight edge, and I think these musicians spent a lot of time in isolation, and being completely straight edge while they made this album, and it was a very compelling artistic result. Again, not something I would listen to every day, but also something that's very challenging listen that requires you to be attentive and a personal grail of mine. Coming in at number 7, we have Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon 1975 Winchester pressing on the EMI Harvest Blue Triangle label. This is a really nice, pristine gatefold copy, and I discussed this in one of my other videos. Songs like Money or Any Color You Like, Us and Them, to hear the instrumentation on this really wide soundstage with such rich bass that you're not going to get on the modern Bernie Grundman pressing is a real treat. And this is one you can listen to often as background music, or you can choose to focus on. So I find myself putting it on a lot more than before I had it on vinyl, and it's absolutely great addition to the collection. At number 6, we have the Almond Brothers live at Fillmore East. This is the gatefold on Capricorn Records with Sterling and the Stamper that I talked about in my last video. I absolutely love this. Stormy Monday and Memory of Elizabeth Reed having been my favorites from the Almonds for a number of years, and really nice to have a clean, hot mix of this album like I talked about in the other video. Coming in at number 5 is Townes Van Zandt's The Late Great on the Tomato label. This is a German pressing of the album, and Townes Van Zandt is in absolutely legendary form on this album. No Lonesome Tune being my favorite song of his. Love the cut of German Mustard on here. And also the cut of Pancho and Lefty on here was exclusive to the German release, so it's not what you'll hear on the US versions. It's a little more of a South Texas country version of that song. Absolutely great, legendary album from a true American storyteller. Coming in at number 4 on this list is Wayne Shorter, Adam's Apple, which was a Christmas gift to me. Absolute legendary album. 502, Teru, Footprints, which you hear a lot on the jazz radio, on this nice, heavy, clean vinyl from Blue Note UA, mastered by Van Gelder, and really pristine copy. This is a real treat where Wayne Shorter and the group sort of takes on the mainstream post-bop, which is a very nice, a change of events from his last couple of albums. And now we're getting to the real heavy hitters. Coming in at number 3 is the early German pressing of Rolling Stones' Sticky Fingers, with the zipper and with the original sleeve. This particular album, you're going to get absolutely great songs on this. Wild Horses, Brown Sugar, Can't You Hear Me Knocking, which is arguably my favorite Rolling Stones song. And the way the vocal and the saxophone pop, you'll hear Mick Jagger's vocal fry. In I Got the Blues, you can hear Keith Richards and the way he plucks the guitar. I love to hear from Mick Taylor on the guitar on here as well on Sway, which is, this album is pure gold from beginning to end. I've spun it a number of times. Really one of the best sounding records that I own. Coming in at number 2 is an album that I've wanted for a very long time, and a true grail of Brazilian music, Ellis and Tom. This is an original deluxe edition from Brazil on the Philips label. It is a gatefold copy of that album, and this record is a very nice copy, which is very pristine. You're going to get a lot of songs from the Brazilian catalog, Sotinha de Ser Com Você, my personal favorite on the album, which is Fotografia. You're going to hear Águas de Março, which is also on the White Album from João Gilberto. So, number of great tracks here. Beautiful Brazilian album and true piece of Latin music history. And then coming in at number 1 on the list is a rare psych find from Kansas City, which is Mighty Baby, self-titled, on the Head Records label. One of only 2 records that I know of that was ever pressed on that label. You have the House Without Windows there. And I would say House Without Windows, Same Way from the Sun, Egyptian Tomb, which is the hit off this album, and although it sounds oxymoronic, how cleanly you can hear the fuzz on this album, and how much it just resonates off of your speakers is a real treat, and this is of course a real rare one. So great to have this in the collection along with the other 9 albums on this list. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back again soon with a video on the top 10 new vinyl records that I added to the collection in 2021. So stay tuned. Thanks very much.